Welcome back, Focus Learners, to today's Explainer. I am seriously so pumped you're here because today we are completely hacking our rest routines. We're going to look at this frankly brilliant strategy designed to stop you from just spinning your wheels when you're already running on empty. If you've ever felt way too exhausted to even figure out how to relax, man, you are in the exact right place. Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever hit the end of a ridiculously long, stressful day, slumped onto the couch, and just realized you're totally burnt out? You know you desperately need some self-care, but the actual act of deciding what to do, like should I read, take a bath, put on a movie, it suddenly feels like you're trying to climb Mount Everest, right? There's this wild paradox here. When you're totally depleted, figuring out how to recharge requires executive function. It takes decision-making energy that you literally just do not have left in the tank. So what happens? You end up doom scrolling for an hour just because, well, it's the path of least resistance. To solve this whole mess, we're going to walk through a really fascinating framework today. So here's the game plan. First, the self-care paradox. Second, enter the self-care menu. Then, free and quick recharges, followed by free and longer resets, and treats and big wins. Finally, we'll wrap up with building your personal menu. Let's jump right into section 1, the self-care paradox, exhausted by deciding. Now, what's really interesting here is where our solution actually comes from. This is the Focus and Flourish Planner. It was specifically designed for teens with ADHD. Now, you might be wondering, why does this matter for everyone? Well, because ADHD brains inherently run on dopamine, hyperfocus, and those big creative leaps, right? They don't run on rigid, inflexible schedules that constantly fight your natural energy levels. The creators behind this planner totally understood that when your brain is loud, or scattered, or just completely drained, you need systems that actually work with you, not against you. And the absolute standout tool they've developed for this is exactly what we're focusing on today. Moving on to section 2, enter the self-care menu, a pre-planned solution. Think about it this way. When you're absolutely starving for a meal, walking into the kitchen and trying to invent a brand new recipe completely from scratch, that's totally overwhelming. But going to a restaurant, looking at a menu, and just pointing to say, yeah, I'll have that, is incredibly easy. A self-care menu takes this exact same logic and applies it to your energy. It's a pre-planned list of restorative activities that genuinely help you recharge so you never, ever have to make a complex decision when you're already fatigued. You literally just look at the list, pick what fits the moment, and order. Here's a great bird's-eye view of the matrix used in the planner. It beautifully categorizes these restorative activities by 2 super simple constraints: time and cost. As you can see, we have 4 distinct buckets here: free and quick, free and longer, costs a bit, and worth saving up for. By sorting your self-care out this way, you instantly narrow down your options based on exactly what you can afford right now, both in minutes and, in dollars. All right, section 3, free and quick recharges, taking just 5 to 15 minutes. These are basically the appetizers of our menu. So the crucial point here is that these activities require zero money, absolutely none, and only 5 to 15 minutes of your time. Look at these examples pulled directly from the planner. Making a cup of tea, doing a quick stretch, spending a few minutes playing with a pet, doodling, or taking a super short walk. When you're right in the thick of a crazy workday, or maybe transitioning between studying different subjects, you obviously don't have time for a full-blown reset. But these tiny, highly accessible actions, they act as vital dopamine microdoses. They literally interrupt the stress cycle and give your brain a quick, zero-friction breather. Next up, section 4, free and longer resets, requiring 30 minutes or more. Let's call these the main courses. So these are the free and longer resets. Now, notice that these still cost you absolutely nothing financially, but they do require you to intentionally block out 30 minutes or more. We're talking about things like taking a bath, having a really solid nap, watching a movie, going for a long walk, or just diving into a hobby session. These are absolutely essential for your weekends or your evenings because they give your brain the extended permission it really needs to properly disconnect from all those goals and daily responsibilities. Okay, section 5, treats and big wins, activities that are actually worth the investment. The chef specials, if you will. And this quote right here brilliantly illustrates why this whole thing is so incredibly important. As the planner notes, ADHD brains need dopamine to keep going. Obviously, this is especially true for neurodivergent brains, but honestly, it's a pretty powerful lesson for all of us.
You have to pick rewards that genuinely excite you. This isn't just frivolous stuff. It is a mechanical necessity for your brain to maintain momentum and stay motivated. Earning a reward and actually using it, that's what completes the entire cycle of effort and rest.
Notice how the planner divides these dopamine hits into two very distinct levels of investment. On the left, we have the things that cost a bit, the smaller, more accessible treats. This could be grabbing some treat food, picking up a new book, buying craft supplies, or simply paying for a nice coffee to enjoy some quiet cafe time. Then on the right, we have the big wins, the things that are worth saving up for. These might be concert tickets, a weekend trip, funding a big creative project, or maybe specialized lessons. The planner actually uses this really cool point system for these, where the small treats are quick 5 or 20-point rewards, while these big wins, those are your 50-point milestones. Varying the scale of your rewards exactly like this gives you both that immediate gratification you need just to get through the week and that really exciting long-term anticipation to help you get through the year.
Bringing us to section 6, building your personal menu. Make it your own. Let's see how we can actually build this out. The whole philosophy of this planner is really all about progress, not perfection. So to build your very own self-care menu, you just follow 3 super simple steps. First step, do a brain dump. Literally just write down every single activity that genuinely helps you recharge, without filtering or judging yourself at all. Second, take that chaotic list you just made and categorize it into the 4 buckets we just talked about. Free and quick, free and longer, costs a bit, and worth saving up for. And third, actually, scratch that. This is the absolute most important part. Keep this menu visible. Stick it on your fridge, make it your phone's lock screen, keep it right on your desk. When that overwhelming decision fatigue hits you out of nowhere, your pre-planned menu will be right there waiting to catch you.
So, I want to leave you with this one thought. Please don't wait until you're completely exhausted to try and figure this out. Let's eliminate your decision fatigue right now. What is the one free and quick appetizer you're going to add to your self-care menu today? Is it 5 minutes of stretching, making that perfect cup of tea? Decide right now, write it down, and the next time you desperately need a break, just order off the menu. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy recharging.